The Psychology of Money. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here today. If this is your first time joining us, welcome to our community, where we explore books, ideas, and life lessons that help us grow smarter, wiser, and more intentional. And if you've been following along, thank you for being part of this journey. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating books ever written about money and human behavior. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book is not about get-rich-quick schemes or complicated financial strategies. Instead, it reveals how our mindset, habits, and emotions shape our economic lives. Have you ever wondered why some people with modest incomes end up wealthy, while others with million-dollar paychecks struggle financially? Stick around, because this book has the answers. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll never think about money the same way again. So grab your coffee or tea, settle in, and let's explore this masterpiece together. Understanding the core idea. At its heart, the psychology of money is about behavior. It's not about how smart you are, how good you are with numbers, or how many degrees you have. It's about how you think and act when it comes to money. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone win the lottery and lose it all within a few years? Or someone else with a modest salary, like a teacher or a mechanic, quietly retire with millions in the bank? That's because wealth has less to do with income and more to do with habits, mindset, and decisions. Let me ask you, when you think about money, do you feel excited, anxious, or maybe even scared? Morgan Housel argues that our emotions play a far bigger role than we realize. Numbers are objective, but humans are not. And that's where the psychology of money really comes in. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Imagine two people, one who grew up during the Great Depression, and another who came of age during a booming economy. The first person might hoard money, terrified of losing it, while the second might spend freely, confident that opportunities will always come. Who's right? Both of them. Because their behavior is shaped by their unique experiences. Take, for example, someone like your grandparents who lived through World War II. Many of them reused everything, from plastic bags to aluminum foil, because scarcity shaped their worldview. Compare that to someone raised during the booming 1990s who saw tech millionaires appear overnight. Their view of money would be far more optimistic. Neither is crazy. Both are products of their time. The lesson? Don't be quick to judge others. Instead, focus on understanding your own financial lens. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Let's talk about luck and risk, two invisible forces that shape our financial lives more than we care to admit. Think of Bill Gates. He became one of the richest men in history, partly because he went to one of the only high schools in the US that had a computer at the time. That was pure luck. On the flip side, Gates had a brilliant classmate, Kent Evans, who tragically died in a mountain accident. That was risk. A real-world case study? Think about the 2008 financial crisis. Some people lost their entire retirement savings overnight through no fault of their own. Meanwhile, others who happened to have cash on hand during the crash bought stocks at historic lows and became millionaires. Was one group smarter than the other? Not necessarily. Timing, luck, and risk played huge roles. The lesson? Be humble when you win and compassionate when you lose. Always prepare for both luck and risk. Chapter 3. Never enough. Have you ever reached a goal you once thought was impossible, only to immediately start chasing something bigger? That's the trap of never enough. Rajat Gupta, for example, had it all: wealth, power, and influence. But his desire for more led him to insider trading, which ultimately destroyed his career and reputation. On a smaller scale, think about someone who buys a nice house, then immediately feels pressure to upgrade because their neighbor bought a bigger one. It never ends. The challenge is to define what enough means for you. Otherwise, you'll always feel empty, no matter how much you accumulate. Chapter 4. Confounding compounding. We've all heard of compound interest, but few of us truly respect its power. Warren Buffett made over 90% of his wealth after age 65. Why? Because he invested early and let time do the heavy lifting. Here's a mini story. Imagine Sarah, a 22-year-old teacher. She invests $200 a month in an index fund. Her friend Jack waits until he's 35 to start and invests double, $400 a month. By the time they retire at 65, Sarah has more money than Jack, even though she invested less overall. Why? Compounding. This shows us that time in the market is more powerful than timing the market. Chapter 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting rich and staying rich are two different games. Getting rich requires taking risks. Staying rich requires protecting yourself. Take Mike Tyson, for instance. He earned over $300 million during his career, but ended up bankrupt. Why? Because he didn't learn how to stay wealthy. On the other hand, think of someone like Charlie Munger, Buffett's partner, who built wealth slowly and conservatively and managed to keep it. Ask yourself, are you planning just to get wealthy or to stay wealthy? Chapter 6. Tails you win. In investing, a small number of successes create most of the results. Amazon is a perfect example. It had many failed projects, like the Fire Phone, but a few big wins like AWS changed everything. Think about your own life. Maybe one job opportunity, one bold decision, or one relationship changed your path completely. That's how tails work. You don't need everything to work out, just a few big wins. Chapter 7. Freedom. What people truly want from money isn't luxury, it's freedom. The freedom to spend time how you want, with whom you want, doing what you love. Case in point. Consider the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant who quietly saved and invested over decades. When he died, he left $8 million behind. He never flaunted wealth, but what he had was the freedom to live life on his own terms. Chapter 8. Man in the car paradox. Here's a paradox. People don't admire the person driving the luxury car. They imagine themselves driving it. So buying flashy things rarely earns you the respect you think it will. Think about the countless celebrities who go bankrupt trying to maintain a certain image. The respect they hope to gain often turns into pity or ridicule. Respect comes from character, not cars. Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. True wealth is invisible. It's not the designer clothes or the giant house. It's the quiet bank account, the investments compounding behind the scenes, and the freedom that comes with it. Remember Ronald Reed, the janitor we just mentioned? People were shocked when they discovered his fortune because he lived modestly. That's the essence of real wealth. It's not always visible. Chapter 10. Save money. Here's a simple truth. If you save consistently, you don't need the perfect strategy. A dollar saved is a dollar earned. Many self-made millionaires didn't have massive incomes. They just saved diligently and avoided unnecessary expenses. Take Warren Buffett's famous advice. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. That's the mindset shift you need. Chapter 11. Reasonable over rational. Being reasonable beats being perfectly rational. For example, paying off your mortgage early might not be the smartest financial move mathematically, but if it gives you peace of mind, it's worth it. Here's a real story. A couple I read about chose to pay off their home early, even though they could have invested that money. Financially, maybe it wasn't optimal, but emotionally, the peace of owning their home outright made them happier. And that's priceless. Chapter 12. Surprise! The future will always surprise us. Think of COVID-19. It disrupted lives, jobs, and markets in ways no one predicted. The key lesson? Expect the unexpected. Build flexibility into your plans so surprises don't destroy you. Chapter 13. Room for error. Having a safety net is critical. Consider emergency savings. When the pandemic hit, millions lost jobs overnight. Those with savings had breathing room. Those without were forced into crisis decisions. Always build a margin of safety, because life rarely goes according to plan. Chapter 14. You'll change. Your goals will change. Maybe today you dream of luxury cars, but in 20 years, you might crave stability and health. Housel reminds us to accept that we evolve, and our financial goals should evolve too. A real-world story. I once met a man who worked tirelessly to afford a yacht in his 40s. By his 60s, he sold it, realizing all he wanted was time with his grandchildren. Our goals change, and that's okay. Chapter 15. Nothing's free. Everything has a cost. The price of investing in the stock market is volatility. The price of entrepreneurship is uncertainty. The price of luxury is often debt and stress. Once you see the hidden price tag, you can make better choices. Nothing truly comes free. Chapter 16. You and me. We're all playing different financial games. A retiree and a day trader may both buy the same stock, but for completely different reasons. Problems arise when you copy someone else without realizing you're playing different games. So define your own game. Are you building wealth for retirement? Are you chasing financial independence? Know your goals and play accordingly. Chapter 17. The seduction of pessimism. Why does pessimism sound smarter? Because it feels realistic. Yet history shows us that optimism wins long term. Despite wars, crises, and downturns, humanity has progressed and economies have grown. So when fear grips the world, remember, in the long run, optimism pays. Chapter 18. When you'll believe anything. When uncertainty hits, people believe any story that gives them comfort. That's why financial scams thrive during crises. Remember Bernie Madoff? His massive Ponzi scheme succeeded because people wanted to believe in guaranteed returns. The lesson? Stay skeptical. Build your financial life on timeless truths like saving, patience, and discipline, not promises that sound too good to be true. The author's closing lessons. At the end of the book, Morgan Housel shares his personal financial philosophy. He lives modestly, saves diligently, and values independence over luxury. He doesn't need to show off because his financial life gives him freedom. That's the real goal. Conclusion. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the psychology of money. What a journey! From the role of luck and risk to the power of compounding to redefining what wealth really means. These lessons are not just about money. They're about life itself. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which lesson resonated with you the most? Was it the story of Ronald Read, the janitor who became a millionaire? Or maybe the reminder that freedom is the ultimate dividend of money? Share your thoughts in the comments. I love reading them and hearing your perspectives. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and most importantly, subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you'll join a growing community of curious, growth-minded people who want to live wiser, happier, and more intentional lives. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me keep creating content like this for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Prosody rate +0.